Previously, undesignated survivor. President Moss wants to get back into politics.
Your country needs you, preferably as Secretary of State.
Work for me.
You're working for Kimball Hook-Stratton? She's the head of the Republican Party and you're a card-carrying Democrat.
I'm looking to redefine the playing field.
Senator Bowman, you and I have very different opinions on gun safety.
I will be reintroducing Bill 8180, which strengthens federal background checks. I happen to oppose this bill, but in the spirit of bipartisan discussion, I'd like to put it before the Senate.
Please hijack your agenda.
Get ready for a fight.
The woman who killed Luke, I'm going after her myself.
Let her go!
Oh my God.
Agent Wells, what do you have for me?
These were found at the home of Brooke Matheson, the woman that Charles Langdon knew as Claudine.
This looks like the Capital Threat Assessment file.
It was created by the same strategic group at the Pentagon. It highlights vulnerabilities at the Golden Gate Bridge, the Hoover Dam, the Statue of Liberty.
How many more?
This is all we found.
Langdon didn't say anything about more attacks.
It's very possible he didn't know.
Then how'd this Claudine woman get her hands on these? These are highly classified.
We don't know yet.
Thousands of people visit these places daily.
These could be rejected sites for attacks.
Well, there could be plans for attacks to come.
Yeah. We're combing through Brooke Matheson's hard drives, trying to find any clues we can.
I'll tell the president. He needs to be informed right away. We've alerted DHS to a credible threat. They're sweeping all 3 sites without alerting the public.
I want to know the second they find anything. We also need to update emergency evacuation plans for those 3 areas.
Of course, sir.
Mr. President,
Yes.
you have the press in 5 minutes, sir. Do you need more time?
No, we're fine. We're done here. Thank you, Mike. Lily, I'll be right with you.
Ladies and gentlemen, the President of the United States.
Thank you, sir. Please, everybody be seated. Good morning. As you all know, we have an incredibly busy day today, so if we could just get started. Carla.
Mr. President, the Senate has introduced the first major legislation of your presidency. Do you support Senate Bill 8180, expanding background checks for gun sales?
Yes, I do. As I said in the town hall, I believe that we have a responsibility to do anything that we can to reduce the level of gun violence in our country. And I think that this bill is an important step in that direction.
Are you concerned about political fallout, tackling such a polarizing issue so early in your term?
No, I think passing good laws is more important than political posturing. And even though this issue is polarizing in some regard, 84% of Americans believe in stronger background checks. Joel.
Staying with that, sir, many observers say the language of the bill is flawed. Can you respond?
Certainly. I think they're right. But if the Senate passes the bill to the House, I will be committed to working with Republicans, Democrats, and independents to make sure that we pass a law that will ultimately make us safer.
That's funny. Nobody's reached out to me.
Well, he's reaching out now.
I want to remind you, this bill is not about taking guns away from people. It's about making sure they don't fall into the wrong hands in the first place.
Initial social media response to the bill is mixed.
Well, they don't call it a third rail for nothing.
Well, it's still pretty positive considering. We'll make sure the data gets out on all the White House channels, make sure people know that the numbers check out. And in terms of public engagement, Mrs. Kirkman is hosting a roundtable discussion today with a number of stakeholders.
People, Seth. Mothers, fathers, daughters, sons. We can never forget that.
Yes, sir. I'll go check on Mrs. Kirkman now.
Okay, thank you.
Speaking of numbers, sir, we need to get 51 Senate votes in 2 days, which is not going to be easy. The language of the bill is not ideal, as you know.
That's why Senator Bowman picked it. He's trying to back me into a corner.
Well, nobody puts baby in a corner, sir.
Didn't think you were old enough to know that movie.
I had to, but we're going to get you out of it. Diane Hunter, the minority leader, is on her way here shortly. If anyone's going to back us on this, it's the Democrats.
Unfortunately, there's only 46 of them.
Good morning, ma'am. I was just coming to see you. Did you get the briefing memo?
Yes, I did. Thank you.
Great. So we'll be in the Roosevelt Room. Public Engagement has put together 12 people, men and women from all over the country. Good cross-section on age and race, and each one of them has unfortunately lost somebody due to gun violence. Wow. So it's not going to be an easy day, but their stories will remind people of why this is so important.
And keep pressure on the Senate for this bill.
Yes, exactly. Although I wouldn't mention the bill specifically. Today's really just about listening. You don't want to make promises.
Seth, please don't worry. I have learned my lesson.
That's not what I meant, ma'am.
Yes, it is. And it's okay. It's your job.
Okay. There's a pool spray at the top, a couple of reporters, but everything's off the record once the meeting begins. It's just you and them.
Okay. You know, when Tom and I got into the White House, I had no idea what to expect. But this, talking about things that really matter to people, this is exactly what I hope for. Thank you for helping.
Thank you, ma'am.
Bringing this bill out of committee is a pure power move by Bowman. I mean, he may be new to the Senate, but he's no virgin.
No kidding. The man resigned from the governor's office so he could be appointed to the Senate.
And he's trying to jack his national profile as fast as he can.
And it's working. There's already talk of a Bowman White House run.
And he's trying to eliminate his competition, man. I mean, introducing this bill without consulting you, he's trying to take you out at the knees.
Yes, well, as the ranking Republican on the Hill, I have to be careful about how to respond. He's still a member of my party.
Respectfully, ma'am, I disagree. No, I think you need to push back hard before it's his party. To show him, he's not the only alpha dog in Congress.
Senator Hunter, thank you very much for coming. I believe you know my Chief of Staff, Emily Rhodes.
Nice to see you again, Senator.
Likewise.
Please.
Mr. President, I admired your statement this morning.
Thank you very much. Let's take a seat. Obviously, we're counting on the support of the Democrats in the Senate on SB 8180. And given your previous record as Attorney General of the great state of Massachusetts, I'm trusting that I can count on you as an ally.
I am proud to say that Massachusetts has some of the strongest gun regulations in the country. Of course, I'd like to see universal background checks as the law of the land.
I understand that this bill might not go as far as you want, but I believe that it starts the ball rolling in the right direction.
That isn't the only issue. SB 8180 is flawed. Fatally, some would say.
We will work the language of the bill in the House. But if we don't get it past the Senate, I don't know if we're going to get another chance at this.
I agree with you, Mr. President, which is why I'm willing to convince my colleagues to fall in line.
I'm very glad to hear that.
Yeah, but even if every Democrat in the Senate votes for this bill, it's not enough to pass. You'll still need 5 Republicans.
Yes, we know it's going to be a challenge.
You're not just competing against Jack Bowman here, sir. This is the gun lobby. This is the Second Amendment, folks. It's going to be expensive, and we need to know that you won't give away too much.
What exactly do you mean?
I mean, we don't know your red line, but I can tell you what we won't tolerate. If we get a whiff of tax cuts for the rich, or cuts to Medicare or Social Security, we will back out of this bill.
You have my word, Senator. I'm right there with you.
Good. And good luck, Mr. President. I'm afraid you're going to need it.
Freedom. It's what makes America great. A fight that never ends. And as the brave forces of the United States military deploy to trouble spots around the world, Browning Reed is right there beside them. Browning Reed is the tip of the spear when it comes to security strategy.
Browning Reed was established in 1993. For its first 20 years in operation, it was the go-to private military for the Pentagon.
Yeah, I remember. Some of their employees shot up a bunch of civilians in Afghanistan.
Right, and they bribed Afghan authorities to cover it up.
It's charming.
The whole place stunk from the top down. Anyway, the company was dissolved last July. All that's left is some real estate holdings, which they're oddly still paying property taxes on. One of the properties is Brooke Matheson's house, where we found the threat assessments. They also have property in Driggs, North Dakota, 30 miles outside of Devil's Lake.
Well, that just was like the middle of nowhere.
Right? So why would Brooke Matheson fly to North Dakota 4 times between February 2011 and September 2015? I gotta find out what's out there.
Well, not alone. Take backup.
I'm gonna call Jason.
Are you kidding me? He's a liability. He's not stable.
John, They had his kid. What would you have done?
I'm just trying to look out for you. I know he's your friend, but that doesn't mean he's qualified to be part of this.
The president gave me direct orders to use whatever means necessary to uncover this conspiracy. I get to choose who I work with, John. And I choose Atwood. We'll check in when we get there.
Mr. President.
Welcome back. How did New York go?
Well, my Russian's a bit rusty, but we got the job done. UN peacekeepers are heading for Naruba as we speak.
Fantastic. How did you do it?
Some good old Texas horse trading. You know, in the end, we've got a lot more in common than we think. Except maybe you and Jack Bowman.
Huh.
I see where you decided to throw down on his bill.
Yeah. You think it was a mistake?
Do you?
When I heard that woman speak at the town hall, I didn't. When I talked to the press this morning, I did. But even the Democrats don't sound very optimistic.
Welcome to the Hill. Many men have died on it.
That's supposed to be a pep talk.
It's a reality check. The American people like you, Tom. You're an outsider and you don't owe anything to anyone. But that means nobody owes you either.
I'm not very good at the Washington game yet.
Yeah, to be fair, you've never really been in the game. And as for that bill, well, the wording is piss poor, but it's got the right guts. And more importantly, it's the bill you've got. Forget about how you got here, Tom. It's just like generals throughout history. You don't always get to choose your terrain. The only thing that matters now is fighting the war that's in front of you. And it ain't a mistake if you win.
Then we better get those 51 votes.
Cream?
My father always said a man only needs two things to live: black coffee and Irish whiskey.
Sounds like your father must have worked in Washington. Please.
No, ma'am. He raised cattle in northwest Montana for 38 years. I come by the boots honestly.
Well, for an outsider, you certainly are jumping right in.
I'm not sure what you mean.
I know you want to embarrass the president, make him choke on this flawed bill. But Congress is a system with a lot of moving parts. And that could lead to a lot of unintended consequences.
Well, I have a majority in the Senate. Second Amendment on my side. Seems pretty simple to me, Madam Speaker.
You know this bill doesn't threaten the Second Amendment. And you may have the majority in the Senate, but may I remind you that the country recently elected a House that is almost a third independent. Even if you succeed in killing this bill, we have much bigger priorities. Tax reform, trade agreements, national security. If we want to get any of those things done in this Congress, we need a united Republican front. You're not helping with this stunt.
No, you're right. This is bigger than background checks. And I'm not interested in a united front if it means compromising my values. Now, I may be new to the Hill, but so is everybody else. You're the last of the old guard around here, Madam Speaker. So get on board. Or step aside. Thanks for the coffee. Ma'am.
Republicans with moderate records, minimal ties to the gun lobby, and enough time left on their terms to ride out any backlash.
3 steps ahead.
I can't take all the credit. Ledge Affairs did the legwork.
And humble, too. You'll get over that.
Walter Dunlop, I know him. We shared some classes together at Cornell. He's a good guy. But I swear he cheated his way through introductory physics.
Yeah, I wouldn't bring that up.
I'll set the meeting.
Thank you.
Welcome to the White House. I know I speak on behalf of the president when I say thank you so much for your courage and generosity in coming here to share your stories today.
Ma'am, will you be discussing SB 8180?
Thank you, Paul.
No, today is about people, not politics, and I am here to listen.
Okay. If everybody has what they need, Jake here can escort you out. We'll let the First Lady get started. Thank you, everybody.
Thank you, sir.
You don't have an office anymore either?
I do, but that would require getting you White House clearance, and that would require a lot of explanation. Feel like going on a road trip?
Where are we heading?
North Dakota.
What the hell is in North Dakota?
Let's find out.
Look, Leslie, I'm not interested in playing this out publicly. I just need you to tell me which Republicans would be open to a sit-down.
The murder rate in particular cities in this country is unacceptable to President Kirkman.
Senator, I understand and appreciate your position, but 84% of the country wants to have a background check. Now, the American people have spoken, and it's our job to listen. Hey, I'm very sorry to hear you say that, sir. Thank you. Goodbye.
Who was that?
Senator Franklin, we're 5 Republican votes short. How are you doing, sis? At the round table went well.
Yeah. There was this one guy, Mike Dunn. 2 years ago, his wife, Allison, she's driving back from the grocery store, and she accidentally cut someone off. That man, he followed her to the next red light, and he shoots her dead.
Thank God.
Tom, we got so lucky when you were shot. I don't know what I'd do if I lost you.
I know how lucky I am.
You know, the strength of some of these people after what they've been through. It's inspiring. You've got to win this. Banker's hours?
No, it's business.
Does that mean you're buying?
Left a bottle on the desk. I assume you found it.
I'm working my first congressional vote as Chief of Staff to the President of the United States. That bottle is long gone, Aaron.
Speaking of the vote.
Here you go.
I know you're going to need a few Republicans. I know you're facing an uphill climb.
It's not exactly a secret.
What if we could help?
Oak Stratton?
She's a Republican. And she is Speaker.
Of the House. How exactly is she going to line up senators?
Well, you know, there's some soft spots in the Senate. Moderates who don't really oppose background checks. They're just afraid to cross Bowman.
I'm listening.
If these senators can be reassured there's a home for them in the party, someone has their back come election time, they might have a reason to vote the bill through.
And what's in it for Hook Stratton?
Think about it.
Vice President.
What do you think?
Did you have this flown in from Ithaca?
Secret Service wouldn't allow it. But someone down there in the kitchen's working some serious magic, because I swear this is a Pines burger. 3 more and you get a free T-shirt.
The Pines Burger Challenge. I think it would send me into a cardiac arrest these days.
30 years ago, when we were back at Clark Hall, could you ever have imagined that the two of us would be sitting here?
Not in my wildest dreams. And it is an honor to be here, Mr. President, truly. But you do know I'm a Republican, right?
I heard a rumor. Walter, I know you're a good man. Reasonable. Hell, there's more public support for background checks than there is for tax cuts.
I'm not so sure about Iowa. But that's not the point. The language of this bill is so broad, my people tell me it's a slippery slope.
I know. We're gonna fix it in the House.
But I have to vote for the bill as written, Tom. I can't do it. Look, I know we go back a long time, and I may lean toward the center, but this is politics. I was appointed by a Republican governor, and I can't go rogue on the first big vote of my term.
Walter, we've got a chance to do something really good here. This bill is gonna save lives.
I'm sorry.
Me too. Me too.
I brought this bill out of committee to the Senate floor to show the White House that any effort to interfere in the free exercise of Americans' Second Amendment rights will fail.
Senator, the First Lady hosted a number of victims of gun violence at the White House yesterday.
Yeah, a blatant PR stunt. Listen, the White House has completely oversimplified this issue. They're making promises about safety they can't keep.
Mr. President, Speaker Hook Stratton.
Thank you. Kimball, how nice to see you.
Thank you, sir. I know you've got a Senate vote coming up fast, so I won't take much of your time. What I came to tell you is, with the proper encouragement, I think a few moderate Republicans in the Senate might just vote yes.
What kind of encouragement are we talking about?
If the Senate gets the bill to the House, I will work with you and other House leaders to get an amended measure passed as you intend. And I'm willing to say that publicly.
That's very generous of you. And courageous, too, to take on Senator Bowman like that. Kimball, I have to be honest, I'm not in a position to make promises right now. Obviously, this bill is incredibly important to me, but the best that I could do, well, I would be very grateful down the line.
That's all I need to know, Mr. President. Thank you.
Oh, thank you. Kimball, from the moment I took office, I've been trying to guess what you were going to do. And I have to admit, I've usually been wrong. Why are you doing this?
Because I think you're doing the right thing, sir.
Thank you very much.
Today I had a very productive meeting with President Kirkman regarding SB 8180. I agree with him that sensible measures to ensure gun safety are long overdue, and that expanding background checks makes Americans safer. So I urge my colleagues in the Senate to pass this bill tomorrow and get it to the House, where Republicans, Democrats, and Independents will work together.
I'd say your meeting with the speaker went well.
Let's hope this works.
As the president has said, let's put country above party and show the American people that their Congress is listening.
So what do you think we're really going to find all the way out here?
Oil? I don't know. Must be something big for Brooke Matheson to come all this way. We're getting closer to the belly of the beast, Jason. I can feel it. Pull over 2 miles out. We'll go the rest of the way on foot.
It's so crazy listening to you give me orders. Seems like just yesterday it was the other way around.
It's weird for me, too, you know.
No, I mean it. I mean, I'm grateful. Because I tell you, with Brooke Matheson being dead, I thought I'd have closure, but I realized that's not going to happen until all these sons of bitches are brought down.
Mr. President, I have Senator Dunlap on the phone for you.
Thank you, Ava. Walter, how are you doing?
I'm well, Mr. President. Just had a long talk with Kimball Hookstratton about 8180.
And?
And she's agreed to provide me with the political cover I need to back you up on this.
That's fantastic.
I'm sorry it had to play out like this, Tom. I wish I could have just said yes when you asked me, but anyway, I wanted you to hear it from me. You can count on my vote.
I really appreciate it, Walter. This is great news.
Good day, Mr. President.
Good day.
Hey.
Hey. Hookstratton got us 3 Republicans. Kovich, Duffield, and Dunlap flipped this morning.
Okay, never thought I'd use Hookstratton and friend in the same sentence. Is this Aaron's doing?
Well, I mean, he knows that we need to take down Jack Bowman just as much as she does, so.
Yeah, but for her to wrap her arms around POTUS like that, there's got to be something else going on. I'm just saying there may or may not be a pool going in lower press.
The president hasn't agreed to anything.
Oh, okay.
Thank you so much, Senator, for seeing me.
Thank you for reaching out.
Well, I made a promise to Amara Kazi. She came to the roundtable yesterday. Her 12-year-old grandson was killed in a drive-by shooting in Chicago.
12 years old?
Yeah. Without a specific law targeting gun trafficking, we're not giving law enforcement a fighting chance to stop the flood of weapons coming into cities like Chicago.
You are preaching to the choir, Mrs. Kirkman. You know, I championed this effort in Massachusetts, and I would be glad to lead the charge here.
If and when we have the momentum.
Of course.
And in the meantime, let me say, I am glad to have a sister in arms in the White House.
Well, thank you. And thank you so much for your support with this vote.
I hope we'll all be celebrating tomorrow. Goodbye.
Mrs. Kirkman, I don't believe we formally met. Jack Bowman.
I think you're right. It just feels like we have.
Well, this is Senator Underhill from Oklahoma.
Pleasure.
Senator Ibarra, New Jersey.
Nice to meet you.
And Senator Vandenberg, Tennessee.
Hello.
I must say, I'm surprised to see you here. First lady working senators now?
Oh, I'm not here for votes. I was just here to keep a promise to a woman who lost her son to gun violence.
Well, I admire your civic spirit. Good luck in the vote today, Mrs. Kirkman. To you and your husband.
Thank you. But this isn't about luck. It shouldn't be good luck that keeps people safe in a movie theater or a mall or a school. This is about doing what's right. And I just hope that 51 senators can feel the same way. It was an honor to meet all of you.
Okay, so we need 2 more.
I was speaking to Ledge Affairs today, and they said we can get Higuera if you're willing to talk Medicaid reform.
Medicaid cuts? Absolutely not.
Okay. Then we're looking at Harrington from Colorado. I know his chief of staff from when I worked on the Hill, so I'll take him. And Jim O'Malley was in your Treasury Department. Do you think he's a possibility?
I'll knock some sense into him.
Good. Our longest shot is going to be Marianne Lewis from Alaska. She's got a moderate streak, but it is Alaska.
I'll talk to her.
Well, let's just wait on the big guns for a second, because if we can get Harrington and O'Malley, we have our 51.
I smelled a barn on this. Good work, Miss Rhodes.
I appreciate that, sir, but our work isn't done until we have the votes.
We're going to need to prepare a statement up or down.
I'm on it.
We just lost Ingram.
What? Ingram's a Democrat.
Says he doesn't like you aligning yourself with a Republican speaker he can't trust.
2 steps forward, 1 step back.
So now we're at 48.
Unless you're willing to talk about Medicaid.
No, I meant what I said.
We need all 3. Harrington, O'Malley, and Marianne Lewis.
Time for the big guns.
Son of a bitch.
We should be coming up on it.
Let me see.
Right now.
The hell?
This is the place. But where's the facility?
Good to see you haven't changed. Your office said you were on lunch. I took a wild guess.
If you wanted to hang out, you could have just asked.
I'm here for work. Grady, I need to know where your boss stands on SB 8180.
That depends on how persuasive the president is willing to get.
Just give me a number.
Mr. President, I think what you're doing for this administration is admirable. But some of us still have elections to worry about. In Texas.
I carried Texas by 60 points last time I ran. I'd say my endorsement still carries some weight down there.
You promising me your endorsement?
Prove you deserve it, Jim.
Mr. President, you're asking me to commit political suicide.
No, I'm asking you to do the right thing.
And sacrifice every other right thing for this one. My appointment is up in November. If I vote for this bill, I won't stand a chance at re-election.
You want a number? Okay. The immediate infrastructure needs of Colorado exceed $785 million.
It's a lot of infrastructure.
You're asking what would help Coloradans overlook their Republican junior senators' vote for gun control.
We're talking about background checks for new sales. It's mild.
You swing that in the budget, I think I can swing Harrington.
I'll confirm within the hour.
If you can't find your spine on this, I may just run for the damn seat myself.
There's no need to overreact. It's really that important to you?
Oh, I'm not asking for myself. I'm not even asking for the president. I'm asking for the country. And I'm not really asking.
Look, I understand that this is Washington, D.C., and I understand that you're a politician. But we have a chance to finally move forward on this thing. Maybe even save some lives. If this vote costs you your re-election, I guarantee you I will find you a place in this administration.
I have to think about it.
Right. I know this is hard. It shouldn't be, but I know that it is. At the end of the day, all I can do is ask you to vote your conscience.
It's gonna come down to the wire.
I did all I could.
You opened the door. If this bill passes, it's probably gonna be because of you. And the president knows that.
And if it fails?
Well, we thank the senators who voted yes for their courage and vow to keep fighting for the issue.
And then we don't talk about it for a while. This was the president's cause, and if it goes down, let it be his defeat.
Well, what about the vice presidency?
I have no intention of tying myself to a lame duck. Look, Aaron, I respect your loyalty to the president. The vice presidency was a conversation, not a blood oath. And if Kirkman loses, we're gonna have to do our own damage control.
Hey, wave a flag. Did you know the First Lady was at Dirksen today?
What?
Yeah, she was meeting with Senator Hunter about some federal gun trafficking legislation.
Oh, I know. She told me she wanted to talk to her, but I didn't think that meant today.
Hours before the vote, Emily. And she ran into Jack Bowman.
Oh, my God.
They exchanged words. I got this from someone in my office who got it from someone on the Hill.
Does the president know?
No, not yet.
Okay. We can't tell him. It's not our place.
Emily, you're the chief of staff.
And she's the first lady.
And he should know. Could you imagine if there had been cameras there?
But there weren't. Were there? I haven't heard anything, so whatever she did, it's done. We will quietly reconfirm the votes and hope there's no damage.
I'm telling you, Forstall, there was nothing there.
I just sent you something. Infrared got a hit at those coordinates.
You didn't happen to look down, did you?
What, we were standing on it?
What's underground?
It's an ICBM missile silo.
What?
Yeah, the government built it in the 70s.
Decommissioned years ago as part of an arms reduction treaty. It took out the payload, and the property was sold to Browning Reed.
We gotta get back out there and find it.
Yeah. The sun's about to set. We're not gonna find anything in the dark.
All right, then we sleep here. We head out at first light.
Just got word from Moss. O'Malley's in.
I think it's going to come down to Marianne Lewis.
Yes, sir. If she votes for the bill, we have the majority. If she doesn't,
it's a tie.
And with no VP to break it, the bill fails.
Drafts of your remarks on the vote, sir.
Thank you.
The Senate will come to order for the vote on SB 8180. This bill requires 51 votes for passage.
Mr. Andover? Aye.
Ms. Azora? No.
Mr. Bowman?
No.
No surprise there.
Ms. Correa? No. Mr. Dunlop?
Aye.
Senator Ingram? No. Senator Garola?
Feels like a funeral in here.
No.
Like none of you been through a vote before. Come on.
Senator Harrington?
You haven't lost yet.
Aye.
This job is making me fat.
This diet starts tomorrow.
I'm good, thank you.
Senator
Thanks, sir.
No.
Ms. Higuera?
No.
Ms. Hunter?
I heard about the pizza.
Hey.
Ms. Lewis?
Senator Lewis is next.
Ms. Lewis?
No.
What's happened?
She didn't have the guts.
It's going to be a tie.
Which means we lose.
Mr. O'Malley?
Aye.
Mr. Schiller?
Aye.
Mr. Underhill?
No.
Well, it was a hell of a lot closer than I expected.
Tom, I'm so sorry.
I'm sorry, too. It was my job to deliver, and I didn't.
It was nobody's fault. We all tried.
Wait.
What?
Vandenberg voted yes.
Are you sure?
Yeah, go back. Rewind it.
Ms. Vandenberg?
Miss Vandenberg?
Vandenberg, I know her.
She was appointed to fill her husband's seat from Tennessee. He was as red as they come.
Richard Vandenberg voted against every gun measure that came up during his time in the Senate. I'd assume she would too.
I guess everybody did. Good for you.
Miss Winston?
No.
And finally, Mr. Zwick?
Come on.
Aye. On this vote, the yeas are 51 and the nays are 49.
It passes!
Congratulations.
Congratulations to you. Great work, everyone. This is unbelievable.
Where's the champagne?
I have some McAllen in my office.
Well, let's get it. This is a celebration.
I want to meet Senator Vandenberg.
Yes, sir.
Emily, we did it.
We did.
To the first of many wins.
Never in doubt.
In a tight contest that riveted and surprised Washington pundits, the Senate voted 51 to 49 last night in favor of a bill expanding background checks for gun purchases across the country.
The bill now moves to the House, where Speaker Kimball Hookstratton has promised a bipartisan effort to amend the legislation and get it passed. Hookstratton's support is a promising sign for the independent president as he rolls out his 100 days agenda.
Supposed to be right here.
This is crazy. Wells.
Stand back.
You ready?
Yeah. What could go wrong?
Hey.
Congratulations. They're calling it a big win for the president.
And for the speaker. She took a big risk and it paid off.
Yeah, well, we're not feeling so bad about it. We'll have to do it again sometime.
Sounds like we will be.
Looking forward to it.
Senator Vandenberg, sir.
Thank you, Lily. Senator, it is an honor to meet you. This is my wife, Alex. I believe you've met.
Briefly, yes.
Please, please.
Mr. President, thank you for the invitation. And Mrs. Kirkman, thank you for agreeing to be here.
Of course.
I want to thank you for what you did last night. Do you mind if I ask, what made you change your mind?
Change it?
Well, I guess we all assumed that you would vote the way your husband would have, especially Senator Bowman.
Well, he never asked. I think he just assumed I felt lucky to be there.
We were lucky that you were.
Richard and I had a happy marriage, but we didn't agree on everything. Guns were one of those things. I heard what you said about country over party, Mr. President. I took it to heart. And when I saw you stand up to Senator Bowman yesterday, Mrs. Kirkman, it reminded me that I could too. I'm sure I'll take flack for it, but I won't give in. And you shouldn't either. Keep doing what you're doing.
I promise you we will.
This place. place is like a Cold War time capsule.
Whoa.
Jason?
Good God. These look like the bombs used to blow up the Capitol.
There's enough explosives in here to blow up 3 capitals.